Recording.
Holy shit, we're holy shit, we're holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, this is your doula Hannah. You're listening to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where I, as a birthing and early child care professional, talk about making babies, birthing babies, and trying not to lose our minds raising them with my ADHD only child husband who has never cracked a parenting book, Justin.
Hello, how are you doing this evening, Hannah?
I am good. Just enjoying some tea.
All right. So, for any new listeners, Hannah is very type A, very studied, kind of puts together outlines and everything for these episodes, and I get texted the episode title right before we start. I left my phone upstairs. So, here I am reading on Hannah's phone. This episode dives into what it's like raising kids with involved grandparents, the sweet support, funny moments, the generational clashes, and the way our own grandparents shape how we see family and parenting today. This should be somewhat interesting given that we have grandparents in our family that listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I think they'll enjoy
Okay.
it. So, really, we're very lucky. Our kids have extremely involved grandparents on both sides. Even the long distance ones do their best to show up as frequently as they can. And it can be super clutch for us as far as childcare, sanity saving, dinner when we need it. Like, they come in handy in so many ways.
Yeah, and I think, our kids are getting a bit of a jump start with all the one-on-one attention they get because all of the support we have also is eager to educate.
Yes.
And doing that in a loving environment, one-on-one, I think is the best way to learn. So,
Yeah, and I mean, like, our son has basically been in Nana and Pawpaw daycare, and it's incredible.
he's basically been in like Nana and Pawpaw kindergarten
Right.
as a 2-year-old.
Going on to 3rd grade. Yeah, so, I mean, funny thing, my mom is here right now, and grandparents also do super grandparenty things.
Not like in the room with us.
No, just in town. And
Do you see her right now, Hannah?
Today, my mom dropped us off before it was nap time for the kids, and I was changing our daughter's diaper, and I hear her say, "Well, we should probably check with your mom first." And then I come out to her already having given our toddler a Kit Kat right before nap time. So, grandparents still do very grandparent-coded things.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of them do it on purpose because they kind of, I don't know, and almost like see it as part of the job.
Yeah. Like, they have to do the fun things that the parents won't do.
I do those things.
Right.
I do
Just
the
not
fun
right
things.
before nap time.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So, I do want to take a second to step into our experience with our own grandparents because I feel like you and I had very different experiences growing up. So, what are some things you remember about your grandparents and how like you experienced being around them as a child or not?
Well, yeah, I did not grow up around any family. It was just the three of us, my parents and myself. So I would see family on every break from school. So we would either be driving to Florida, depending on the time of the year, if my grandparents were at the Florida place, or we would be driving to New York if they were up there.
Yeah.
Because they split the year. and New York was also where my mom had family too, so we would, see family there. But as far as grandparents go, unfortunately, I lost my grandparents on my mom's side very young, so I have very faint memories of my nana, and I mean, I kind of mostly remember kind of the smell of the place that she had in Florida. I kind of remember, her being extremely tan because that was, very different for me. And I can very much see the inside and like the style and everything of her place in Florida, even though I was probably there very few times, very young.
Yeah.
So she lived separate from my grandpa, even though they were, I believe, still married. So he was, I think, in New York, but he came to stay with us, I think, when he was, sick.
Yeah.
And so I had very little experience, day to day with grandparents. No experience day to day with grandparents. Sorry. I was just like walking down memory lane in my head there. So that was probably very slow. I'm gonna have to edit out a lot of pauses. But so on my dad's side, I had those grandparents for a little longer, and we're gonna circle back, don't worry. So those were the ones I would go visit, from school on breaks, school breaks and stuff like that. So I have a lot more memories of them. My grandma was, with us until I was, old enough to not appreciate that, she was there and think I had more important stuff to do. So yeah, none. I'm sorry. I just like lost what we were doing. Yeah, I wasn't raised around my grandparents. Every time I saw them, it would kind of be the first like few days that would kind of, as a kid feel like strangers until I got to a certain age. And then kind of as soon as I started to get, remember who they were and get like being around them and get more comfortable and everything, we would leave.
Yeah.
So, it was really hard to have a close relationship with them, but it gave me a really close relationship with my parents because they were the ones who were around, so anything that grandparents would have done, I did with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't hardly remember my nana. What I remember of my grandpa Jack is me being just like a frightened, just little kid who didn't know who he was, and he couldn't hear well, so he was a little loud. So I think I was, afraid of him just because he was a new person and he was living in our house all of a sudden, and he was like loud and stuff like that. But like I very much can remember his smell, you know what I mean? So honestly, a lot of my memories, not of my grandparents, but like of myself with my grandparents, are not negative, but like, because like my grandparents all loved me, and I knew that, so not negative, but just like not positive. Like I wish I had acted and behaved differently in almost every situation except for like my nana who passed away before I was old enough to make any kind of decision for myself.
Well, keep in mind that at almost all of those ages with your grandparents, you were still a child, and a lot of that part of the brain wasn't there for you to be in control of that.
I know, but that doesn't change the fact that, yeah. All right, whatever. All right, we're gonna probably have to edit that out. That was just like a 10-minute just therapy rant.
That's okay.
So Hannah, tell us about your experience with your grandparents.
Yeah. So mine was definitely like the opposite of yours. I had both sides grandparents around. It felt like forever. My mom's mom just passed away just over a year ago, and I'm 35 now. And my dad's dad passed away in 2017, so I was 27. Um, and I still have my dad's mom and my mom's stepdad slash who we call her dad. Um, and I also had great grandparents around super late in life, so I was super super lucky. I also spent a shitload of time with my grandparents.
As I think you mentioned in a previous episode, where you lived when you were young was right, or like family were your neighbors.
Yeah. So like the house I grew up in, old farmhouse, was the house my mom grew up in, was the house my grandma lived in at one point, or lived right next door. By the time I lived there, I had great uncles living on either side of me, lots of family around all the time.
Well, yeah, the road was named after them.
Right. But like most of my childhood, I remember being at my mom's parents' house, like going to work with my grandma, just doing so much with my grandma Donna. And then most of my summers were spent with my dad's parents, going sailing, either on their boat or sailing camp. That makes me sound like a dick.
Yeah. I mean, no, not yet.
And
I don't know, just spend my summers at the yacht club. Or
Yeah.
sometimes, I would have to go and hang out with my grandfather at his business, and then we would go down to the yacht club.
That was my exact reality. I spent almost every day in the summer at the yacht club.
She spent so much time there that, as somebody with Scottish heritage, she got tan.
It's true. And then like going on road trips with my dad's mom, we would go to Maine every summer and spend around 2 weeks there, if I'm remembering correctly. We started doing that when I was 6, and we did that until I was 17. So I was super lucky. And then as far as great grandparents go, I saw them almost as much. My dad's grandma, my grandma Ina, was the one from Scotland. Well, my grandpa was born there too, but she was hilariously nuts, and I loved every second of it. Taught her the Macarena when she was in her 70s, and it was great. My dad's other grandma was my gram, and so like my grandma Ina and my gram, they were around until I was like 17 and 19, I think. So I was heavily shaped and influenced by my grandparents, like our kids are being now.
By your grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents.
Right.
They were all living there for a little bit.
They were all there forever. So yeah, totally opposite experience. Much.
Speaking of, they were all there forever. See our previous spooky episode.
And now my kids talk to their ghosts.
I don't want that.
But like all of that is leading us to like how grandparent involvement like is super beneficial for kids, especially when it comes to things like learning and emotional security.
I was actually having like a conversation with a client of mine yesterday or today about how it's so weird that like multi-generational living is something that happens in so much of the world except for
here.
the US.
Yeah. It's wild because
it's almost like it's a super beneficial thing that people realized a long time ago, and we're just like, hey, let's keep doing this.
Right. Exactly. And so, you know how much I love to get into the sciencey stuff.
Yeah, and like full transparency, like I'm at least somebody, and I'm pretty sure you are too, who is like we're encouraging our parents who are kind of both looking for houses always
Yeah.
to buy like a compound. Like we want the family compound where
Yes.
like we all have a separate space, but it's all super close. Oh, that would just be so great. Like 3 houses on like parts of one property. That would be so dope.
I would be so happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how your parents feel about it, but my mom is super into it. She's like, fuck yeah. Yeah, so there's obviously been research in developmental psychology and family systems theory that show kids with involved grandparents tend to have higher emotional security, stronger empathy, and better stress regulation. A lot of that has to do with attachment theory, and so how like cortisol affects attachment and all that fun stuff. Children thrive when they have multiple secure bases. So not just that secure attachment with their parents, but also the grandparents.
Is this attachment theory what you're talking about right now? What is attachment theory? You just said that and then like moved right on. Like
so yeah, talking about things like secure attachment. Let me pull up the full list. And it's your attachment style. So there's secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and fearful attachment.
so like attachment to stuff, people, like is this
like
what
when it comes to relationships.
Okay, so this is
starting with your parents.
what drives we're not gonna like touch on what drives a child to have like a blanket or like a blankie or like a polony. Like,
No, it's gonna be like how they are relating to the people in the world around them.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know these attachment styles are heavily influenced by your life experiences, trauma, your relationships and experiences with whoever is raising you, but they're not fixed. So like you can go to therapy and change your attachment style kind of thing. So, I feel like we talked about in our gentle parenting, mindful parenting, fear does not equal respect episode.
Uh-huh.
We touched on why fear does not equal respect, and that would kind of go into like that fearful attachment, the people who are forming relationships out of fear, and then how that affects everything else in their lives.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So having other consistent, loving caregivers who make kids feel safe and seen is super important, because secure attachment is going to lead to healthy relationships in the future with making friends, having a good relationship with your partner, and like that entire foundation for that. Whether or not you need to seek therapy to feel good in your own skin, all of that stuff is affected by those like initial attachments.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, let's get into like do you have like what potential effects of certain types of relationships are? You know what I mean? So like do they have it to where it's like, oh, typically people who experience, this type of a relationship with parents or grandparents or extended family experience X, and people who have this other experience, have Y.
Kinda, yeah. And I can actually add to that part of the conversation as we go. But like, so when we're talking about secure attachment right now, grandparents often create a like softer, more playful dynamic with fewer rules, more like one-on-one attention, like how we were talking about earlier. And they're like a good, solid emotional anchor, which kind of gives kids like emotional insurance.
Yeah, which I mean gives them freedom to learn and express themselves and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and they know that like their parents can be stressed and still have like a soft place to land with their grandparents, so that doesn't increase their own stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
I did not have that. I was on my own. Like I didn't even have
so
siblings.
right. And crazy things can affect your attachment too, like responsiveness to your crying or emotions as a child and how they were reacted to. So, like going into the other styles, we talked about secure attachment. If we're getting scientific, it's characterized by a strong bond where individuals feel safe, trusting, and comfortable exploring the world. They know they have a secure base. Those are the people who are out there like having the confidence to do whatever they want in life because they know they have somewhere to land, and they're typically super successful because they are coming from that foundation of confidence.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're probably taking more risks.
Yeah.
Because, they feel like they have a bigger cushion to fall back on.
Right. And so like involved grandparents means yes, they literally do have a broader cushion to fall back on.
Cool.
Then there's like insecure avoidant attachment, which is where individuals tend to like suppress their needs and avoid closeness because they feel like they need to solve everything alone. This is for kids who typically like were taught that it wasn't safe to express their emotions around their primary caregivers. There's also the insecure anxious attachment, which is where individuals may feel a sense of inadequacy and a constant need for validation and reassurance from others because they didn't get that from their primary caregivers. And then there's disorganized attachment, which is a bit more complex. Usually results from direct like trauma or like terrifying interaction with your primary caregiver.
Mm.
Um,
Like abusive situation.
yeah, and that leads to like intense anxieties and avoidant behaviors, a lot of mental health issues. Because like all of this influences a child and then adult social, emotional, and behavioral development. Because those patterns you learn as a child continue into your adult relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic partnership.
And I think a lot of that, like, science gets, like, a bad rap because people don't want to fully understand, like, how much of who they are was shaped at such a young age.
Right.
I think that, like, makes people feel less in control, so I think that has been, like, looked at as, like, phooey or nonsense. That's not a bad thing to say.
I don't think so.
Okay. Because, like, yeah, I mean, my first go-to thought is, like, that, like, in the 90s when kind of therapy was becoming big, you would see, like, even on sitcoms about how, like, the girl character started dating this, like, side guy character who's not on the show or whatever, and, like, they're just, like, seeking the mother figure they didn't have
Yeah.
as a child, you know what I mean? So I think, like, a lot of that is seen through that lens even still, because I think our age, a lot of the people who were teaching us were taught then, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that got taught to us, whether they intended to or not.
Yep. And I think another reason, especially older generations, avoid talking about all this stuff is because they see it as like, well, if we're just talking about like what happened to me as a child, that I'm not taking responsibility for what I'm doing now. And it's like, well, no, you you use that to take responsibility for who you are now, and sometimes understanding why you behave a certain way helps you change it. It's not an excuse, it's a tool.
Well, yeah, and I will also think that it's difficult for parents because they take blame. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think very, very few people are able to be the exact parent they want to be all the time.
Yeah.
And that leads to guilt,
Right.
no matter what. Or hopefully, you
Yeah.
know, because hopefully this is something you care about that much. So I think it's difficult for a lot of moms in particular to talk about this stuff because they feel like there's finger pointing or blaming happening when they were doing the best they could with
Right.
what they had at the time. And I think they have also probably, whether like consciously sought out information or just have learned it, you know, through like, you know, because stuff is just in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
That some of the things or their approaches were not the best back then. So they feel guilty about it. And it's like, it can be difficult to have discussions with them about that because they feel like, oh, everything's just my fault. And it's like, well, no, but yes, because, well, it should be, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because, like, yeah, your parents should be the people that shaped you
Right.
at that age. Hopefully they were around that much to do that. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, all the things wrong with me in certain categories have to do with how things happened at a certain age, but also all the good things about me came from those things too. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it's hard to, I think, for a lot of people to have these discussions with their parents, or like when they get brought up, it's hard to like feel like you're having a conversation with somebody else who was there, because there's a lot of maybe selective memory loss or things like that, or just stuff that was a big deal to you was like the 15th stressful thing that happened to them on that random Wednesday afternoon.
Right.
So,
And I think a lot of that guilt is why we do get to witness something that can be really cool, but can also bring in some complicated emotional reactions.
Spoiling by the grandparent. Is that where we're going?
More like
ADHD ruins it again.
a new chance at parenting by the grandparents.
Yeah, which I think leads maybe intentionally or unintentionally to spoiling in different ways.
Yeah, like they have an opportunity to sort of repair how they showed up the first time and get to try to do it again, which can lead to spoiling and whatever else, but also can bring up complicated feelings from the parents, because it's like, what the fuck? That's not how you dealt with things with me. So it's a really cool thing to witness with involved grandparents, but can also be a really complicated thing to witness with involved grandparents.
See, not for me personally. I have not struggled with that the way I have seen videos online depicting, you know, people struggling with that. Like, because, like, in my opinion, my parents have had almost 40 years to learn and grow as individuals.
Yeah.
I they better be doing it different.
Right.
Because I want to believe that they're people who want to continue to learn and grow through their entire lives like I am. You know what I mean? So, like,
as someone on the outside of that situation, I have seen a little bit of the complication in like little moments of you just being like, fuck, they would have done X with me.
I mean, obviously I don't hang on to it. It's
right.
not.
Yeah, there's never
something.
anything that's like affected your relationship.
No,
or
like
anything with
most
them.
of my like if any hangups come, it's from there are things that I am actively doing differently
Yeah.
that I would also like them to do, but they just revert back to what they know.
Yeah. And that's the other hard part with involved grandparents is the necessary boundary setting, which we're also going to get into.
Yeah,
But,
which again
like-
can be hard to do without people feeling offended.
Right.
Because it's like, no, I do appreciate what you're doing. I would just really like it to line up more with what we are also doing, or just like confusion for the kids' sake. You know what I mean?
And yeah, like the complicated feelings about like their second chance at a relationship with kids definitely comes up for me when I think about my relationship with my dad, because we definitely went through a fair chunk of time of
Well, you have a much different relationship with your parents. I mean,
right.
you're a child of divorce.
Yep.
So like I'm not. My parents are still married, still together. So I think that plays a big role also.
It does. And like I'm really stoked that my dad wants to be super involved with our kids. He
Mhm.
doesn't
Yeah.
get like a huge opportunity to be because he's in a totally different state. But I do really like seeing that he's trying.
Yeah, oh, he's a completely different person, like with the grandkids than like he was before.
Yeah, like for an
Like
example,
I guess to me, being your, boyfriend, then fiance, then husband, but now father of his grandkids.
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like thinking about it now, I don't think you even met my dad until we were engaged.
I mean, I don't think so either, because he was, living in another state.
Yeah, and just like not super involved. I had like my own relationship issues with him, so that like I made sure he wasn't super involved.
And like my view off the bat was tainted because
Right.
I'm obviously 100% on your side.
Right.
And so any like story you tell me or something, I'm just like, well, I'm only on Hannah's side.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And yeah, like there's little things that I remember from my childhood that I look at now as an adult that I'm like, it's fucked up that he said that to me or did that. Like we're not. But I find myself sometimes when like we're FaceTiming or something and I've got the kids there, that I'll start to get a little protective based on things he's saying, and then I'm like, okay, he's not saying anything wrong. I'm just assuming what's gonna come next based on my stuff. So I'm trying to remove that because I want him to have that solid, healthy relationship with them, regardless of my past relationship with him.
well, yeah, because it's not fair to the kids
Right.
or the grandparents. It's like, just because you were making mistakes at a certain point in life, if you've made an active effort to not do that anymore, you should be given a chance.
Exactly, because the whole point is we want people to grow and change.
Yeah, that's
So
the
we have
point
to
of
allow
life.
them to.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
if they do, that needs to be rewarded.
Exactly. So, like,
It's like, if you want to step up and be a good grandparent and can prove in every scenario that you're going to be, as far as I'm concerned, hell yeah, go for it. Like,
yeah.
my, like, that can repaint my picture of an individual.
And
like,
it's
and it-
kind
and
of like
has.
closing old loops for me and like fixing some stuff that was at the back of my brain, because it's like, okay, we can be a strong family again with this extended family.
And to be fair, you have memories in your life of your parents at an age that was before you and I ever met.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, that is kind of, I was gonna say, an unfair disadvantage
Yeah.
that you have, because you have memories of these humans when their brains were literally still developing. And,
Yeah,
and
like,
they
my
were
parents
still
were
trying to
young as
figure out
fuck.
who they were
Yeah.
as humans, much less as parents.
Right. Yeah, like, you had the benefit of your parents being our age now as parents. Mine were basically still kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just another fun little thing about involved grandparents. Yeah, so the other thing besides that, like, confidence and secure attachment and feeling safe that comes from having super involved grandparents is, like, you're helping your kids, like, with their identity formation and developing a stronger self-esteem by having that extra support system.
And again, I think it very much helps that most grandparents who are willingly involved, like not people who have their kid's kid thrust upon them,
Yeah.
like that's a whole different scenario. Those
Right.
people are fighting a different battle.
Yes.
More power to those grandparents. Do your best.
Yes.
But the grandparents that are actively involved are definitely like stroking that self-esteem and helping it grow, because they're allowed to be in that position to just be amazed by everything the kid does, because when they're with them, probably most general overall needs are already being met up to that point, so they don't need to like step in and do anything
Yeah.
like shaping or crazy. So they're allowed to just experience the positives and then kind of like bask in that with the child,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Like,
It's super awesome.
I hope that didn't sound like I was saying it was a negative. I think it's amazing. Like, I absolutely love like the energy and how bouncing off the walls our son was at like the dinner where both of our parents were there.
Yeah. Oh my God. He just lit up the whole room. Everybody was excited, so he was more excited.
Mr. Personality.
Yeah.
Just talking up a storm, making everybody play hide and seek in the living room. Just like riding the little inside bicycle in ways that I've never seen him do it before. Like just being a little dude. And like I kind of could feel maybe some of the grandparents wanting to like contain that a little bit or like point it out, but it's just like I love it. Like I love the excitement, because I remember vividly acting different when all of the people that you loved, for me it was just my mom and my dad, were home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember my parents commenting on it and just being like what, you like, we're not doing this 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, when it was just us here and your dad wasn't home yet.
Yeah. and I can understand how as a parent now, like, yeah, that can be annoying or difficult to handle on some days. So like I just try to make an active effort to like know if I'm coming home or if I'm the one home and you're coming home, that it's going to be high energy for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be little like sitting down allowance. I'm like, we'll try, but there'll be a lot of like, come with you, daddy, like run down the hall, you know what I mean? Like, come over here. And it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, his exact words today with both sets of grandparents there and us was, okay, everybody, now let's all run.
Yeah. And he did.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the other great thing about having involved grandparents is it doesn't just feel good for the grandkids. Like, it's good for the whole family because we all get to be around that high energy.
Well, and I think it keeps you young.
Yeah.
Like literally being around youth keeps you young. And like that's grandkids, coworkers. I mean, I think everybody's had that older coworker who's just like how are you like as hip as we are? Like we want to hang out with you and you're twice our age.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's because they're there, you know what I mean? And
Right.
they're like still young.
And the other thing it's good for, not just that, but like strengthening our ties with our parents and those relationships. Because I don't know about you, but I just absolutely adore seeing the ways both of our parents interact with and love our children, and that like
No, I
increases.
hate that. Why would you say I don't know about you and then say this thing that
I just
obviously
didn't know
any
if it
parent
was,
would
like,
really love and enjoy?
Something you thought about.
I don't know about
consciously.
you, but I really love our kids. Like, what?
It's something that I consciously think about every time I'm with my parents or your parents around our kids.
Oh, and me, the person
And-
with the overly active brain and uncontrollable empathy. Never. Okay.
All right, that's fair. I just automatically revert to this feels like a girly thing, and your brain doesn't think that way.
That's sexist.
I know.
That's sexist, and that is like societal,
I
systematic
know.
sexism. Like, that is why I'm going to be doing like a series for dads who like either do or want to be comfortable loving their kids.
Yeah.
And openly expressing that and wanting to brag about it and feeling like it makes you a better person, because it does. If
Good.
you're a piece of shit, but you're a good parent, you're a better person than you were before you were a parent.
Yes. That also leads me to a quick question. Speaking of the way girl brains and boy brains work when it comes to parenting, do guys like imagine being a parent someday? Like part of girl imagination as a kid was like playing house and having a fake little family.
I mean, like, see, I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but I was a kid who I think for the longest time, if you asked me what I wanted to be or do when I grow up, I said I don't want to grow up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I
So you
never
wouldn't like
wanted.
make believe grown up things.
No, I would play house and everything because,
Okay.
like, obviously, I was like a charismatic, attractive young boy, so all the little girls wanted me to play with them, and if they didn't want me to be their spouse, they wanted me to be their dad. In this scenario, there was like a summer at a camp I went to before I was 12 because it was in Atlanta. I was at best 8 or 9
Yeah.
and was like had this group of girls who were a little bit younger who just like called me their dad and like would just follow me around, and anytime like their younger group was in the outside area with like our older group, like they weren't like weird or annoying about it, you know, like they would just sometimes like come over if they were having like a disagreement and
It'd
like,
be like, "Hey, daddy."
want me, no, literally, but like they called me daddy. It was I didn't want to say that, but they were little kids talking to a little kid.
Right.
So yeah, but like would just want me to like settle their disagreements or show me the thing they made, and you know, I was just up in this like kudzu fort in the woods playing like capture the flag with other older kids, so like I would just look at it and be like, that's awesome or whatever. Why are we talking about this?
Because I set us up for an accidental tangent and just got curious about.
I can't even see the
imagination.
road that we were on. Like I'm so far down this dark trail. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Is there another bullet point we can just
let's
jump
switch things
to?
up a bit and talk about.
What were we talking about?
I don't remember. But now
Oh.
we're going to talk about the hilarity that comes from involved grandparents.
Okay, if you just listened to this and you know what we were talking about, please comment below. It won't help us, but I want to make sure like somebody knows.
It was about my sexist brain and about me setting you up
you
for
sexist.
yeah.
All right.
Anyway, hilarity also ensues with involved grandparents. We took our son trick or treating as one fantastic example, and when I said, "What do you say?" when we got to our neighbor's house, he said, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat," which we didn't teach him.
Papa.
And there's so many like funny little things he says, and I'm just like, "You're such a cute little old man."
Yeah, there are a lot of funny like things and mannerisms and stuff like that I can definitely tell he doesn't get from either of us.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. And we're gonna hop back into this when we are done.
Okay.
So we'll be right back after these messages.
Holy shit, we're parents. This episode is brought to you by Boobie Superfoods, the real MVPs of postpartum snacks. Whether you're breastfeeding, chasing toddlers, or just need something that doesn't make you feel like garbage, Boobie's got you. Get 10% off your order at boobiesuperfoods.com/reviveandthrive. That's BOOBIE superfoods.com/reviveandthrive. Because your boobs and your sanity deserve nice things. Okay, Mom. If you're still living in those crusty maternity leggings from 3 babies ago, it's time. Comfort sweats are basically the uniform for surviving parenthood. Soft, high quality, and somehow still cute even when covered in spit up. Go to comfort.com/Hannah66030 for 10% off your order. That's CMFRT.com/HANNAH66030. Because if you can't have peace and quiet, at least you can have comfy pants. Holy shit, we're parents.
And we're back.
Oh, okay, I remember. So I asked if, like, little dudes imagine playing house and having a family someday like little girls do with their imagining.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So yes, play house, but I think for me personally, it was never like I was not provoking it, but I was always willing to do it because I don't know. I think just with the relationship I had with my parents, I always knew I was going to be a parent.
Yeah.
I never imagined it. I didn't necessarily like fantasize about it. I never like imagined my wife and what our life would be like or anything like that. I mean, I was one of those stupid little white boys who was just like, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna have a big house, blah blah blah. So like, yeah, no, yes and no. It's weird. Again, like I always knew / wanted to be a parent, but I also was like afraid of it my entire adult life. You know what I mean? And then kind of just like ignorant to the whole thing as a child.
Okay.
Why? What about? I would assume girls have a different experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, at least me personally, I've been imagining my future family since before I can really remember. And, like, I think starting in kindergarten, told my parents I was going to be living the exact life I'm living right now. I'm going to live in Colorado. I'm going to be married. I'm going to have 2 kids, a little girl and a little boy. I'm going to have a little boy first so he can protect his little sister. Like, I set this shit all up.
That was the one. That was the one thing I did know, is that I was gonna have more than one kid because being an only child had ups and downs for me.
Yeah.
I was like always kind of very aware of how lonely I was, and you know, how it would have been cool to have somebody else there even to just hate, you know?
Curious about that after I made my super sexist comment.
Okay, so after your super sexist comment, you wanted to just generalize all men and women.
Yeah,
Okay.
just continue my
Dig in the hole.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, back to hilarity.
That
from
was a cute little thing you
grandparents.
just did, but we don't video record yet, so nobody's gonna see it. Give us some Patreon followers. Be the reason we start video recording these, because if we have patrons, we have to, so you can watch them.
And we're way funnier if you can see us.
One of us is. One of us is just sitting over here minding his own business.
All right. Oh man, what's some other funny shit that your parents have?
Some other things. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton, but they're just so like ingrained
Right.
in our lives now that they're hard to even think about.
Gotta pay for the cheese tax if
Oh.
we're making anything with cheese in it because
Cheese
of your
tax.
dad.
Well, and because of his dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Pay the dog cheese tax, gotta pay the toddler cheese tax.
I mean, he eats cheese eggs every morning because of them.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of the foods that he likes are kind of influenced by what he's had there.
My stepdad is in New York most of the time, but he visits as often as he can, and everyone always knows 2 for McAdoo.
Which, I mean, explain to everybody what that is.
It has something to do with an old basketball player.
I know what it is. Okay. When Buffalo had the Buffalo Braves, a NBA team, there was a player on there whose last name was McAdoo, and that's how the announcer would call it when he would score 2 points.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just something that Jim has always said for as long as I can remember.
And now,
yeah, great.
What are more things that he does or says
because of his grandparents?
Yeah, because of his grandparents.
He'll snuggle into your chest and give you a big hug and say, "I'm just loving you up." He learned that from his nana.
I mean, like, again, I am somebody who I thoroughly enjoy seeing the differences because, like, again, if you care about and love your parents, you should want them to grow and learn just like everybody else you love and care about. You should want that for all of them. And hopefully they've had a lot of years to learn and grow since you were a child, and they can like use all that knowledge on their grandkids.
Yeah. And like, I'm excited to see how they've affected our children already will continue into their adulthood. Because like right now I'm sitting here drinking tea with sugar and milk. And I remember the first time I poured milk in my tea in front of someone, like one of my friends, and they were like, "You just put fucking milk in your tea?"
Is that not normal?
I always thought it was because my Scottish great grandmother did it.
I was
And
gonna
so
say it's like a Irish or like English thing.
yeah, so I am 35 years old, still drinking tea the way my great grandmother did when I was a little kid. Can you think of anything that you do that was shaped by your grandparents?
I sing nonsensically to myself. I think that's because my papa would do it like every morning. Like he would, like, especially at the house they had in Florida, just how it was set up, you could typically hear him like walking down the hall, and he got up before everybody, and he would just be like singing this like whoa, 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 just like this, you know.
Yeah.
And I definitely find myself doing things like that. Other grandparent things. Do you have any other grandparent influences that you are still doing?
Yeah, I actually just thought of one that I didn't realize I was like stemmed from a grandparent until now. our son liked that video vocabulary, that learning video series, and I started saying Corby, and he gets really frustrated, and it just makes me want to say it more. And my
Hannah Marie Spaghetti.
Yep, Grandma Donna. It was Hannah Marie Spaghetti. I can't remember if it was also Hannah Marie Mailbox or if that was the variation my mom got as a child from Grandma Donna, but Hannah Marie Spaghetti drove me fucking insane, and I hated it. It would be like, stop it, and like it's still on birthday cards I had for her from her and stuff, and now I'm doing it to my own kids.
Generational traumas.
Right, but funny ones.
Oh.
I mean, having those involved grandparents really makes parenting a full circle experience. We get to like learn and heal and watch the people who raised us doing the same thing.
I would
learning and
be
healing.
curious if we're signing off here. In the comments, let us know about your grandparents' situation and how or if you think it has shaped things that you do now, how you're raising your kids, your relationship with your parents.
And I do think we think about it a lot with our parents and can kind of forget that other people may have had an influence on us as well.
Yeah, whether they were there or not.
Yeah.
Like, it works both ways. So, like, are you out there, like, are you seeking a closer relationship between your kids and your parents because you didn't have one, like me, for instance? Like, I absolutely love the fact that our kids are going to have at least one second home in the town that they grow up in.
Yeah.
So,
Always.
like, that, I love that because I was always, like, jealous of other kids who would, like, oh, yeah, I'll be over later, but, like, I'm going over to my grandma's for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, like by yourself? Like,
you get to do that?
well, like, nobody's making you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, like, even when I did have my grandma in my hometown, it was, like, late into my teens. So, like, a lot of how I saw stuff was already shaped. So it was very difficult to just, like, be super close to her.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, she was this, like, almost up on a pedestal, like, person because I only saw her for these short periods of time. And it was like, oh, well, we're going to do all these grandma things in that short period of time. And we never got to, like, know each other outside of that. Yeah. I mean, like, there was one week I was there that my grandparents found this pancake house, or it might have been my grandma did after my grandpa passed away. And we went there every single morning of that trip. You know what I mean? With different people who were, like, coming in, different parts of the family. So it must have been when my grandpa passed. But that kind of, like, occupied all of my memories of that week there.
Yeah.
Was just going to this one place, which is actually famous now, and I've seen a lot of viral videos about it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm very curious about listeners' experiences and how it's shaping it, and if you are knowingly or maybe unknowingly allowing your relationship with your parents to get in the way of your kids' relationship with your parents.
Yeah. Or
and maybe hearing this and being forced to think about it, you might have a realization and be like, oh, ooh, maybe I am doing that. And maybe, like, that isn't fair to, at the very least, my kid. If you don't care about being fair to your parents because you've had a bad relationship to them. At the very least, if you have the ability to let your kids be close to their grandparents, you should.
As long as they're good people. Or, like,
as long as they're good to your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the inverse of that, are you recognizing that your own relationship with your parents is evolving and getting stronger because of their like relationship with your kids
or
and
weaker.
like appreciating that.
Yeah. Hopefully, you're in a position where they're active grandparents and it's evolving and getting stronger. But I'm sure, unfortunately, it could be a lot more people's situation that their parents are not as involved as they maybe wanted or would have hoped,
Yeah.
and their relationship is devolving.
Yes. And we do have absolute compassion for that kind of situation and recognize that we are very, very lucky.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that's going to do it for today.
Yes. Last thing I just wanted to do was express my gratitude for what we have with your parents and my parents and the extra love, the extra help,
And
even with the chaos.
We would specifically thank you, but you don't support us on Patreon at the $50 level. So unfortunately, Mom, I cannot thank you just yet. I would love to. Just saying.
Well,
Mom,
thank you.
You could be the reason we have to record video.
Thank you for hanging out with us if you made it this far and sticking with us through our tangents that sometimes didn't have anything to do with what we were initially trying to talk about.
I don't think anybody's still listening to this right now.
If you are, I love you. And we hope you love us and give us a 5-star review, hit follow, share with somebody else who enjoys tangents and wandering thoughts.
I left my phone upstairs, so I can't even do the Patreon stuff. Let's see if I can do it from memory.
All right.
If you really like us, you can find us at Patreon at Holy Shit We're Parents, shit without the I. For $4 a month, you will get... I don't know.
You get some stuff. And
for $10, you get more stuff, which is like, puts the $4 stuff to shame.
Right.
And then for $50, you get way more stuff that those cheapos at the lower levels couldn't even dream of.
And we'll call you mommy.
Yeah, on the podcast even. Not just like in your ear creepily when you're not expecting it. No, let's see. $4 a month, you get early access to the podcast depending on how quick we record and edit them. You'll get limited Discord access to chat with like-minded parents. You will get limited access to some of our Patreon mini-series and episodes. $10 a month, you're going to get live chats with us while we record, watch live videos with us while we record, watch the video recordings of the episodes on Patreon. You'll get full access to all of the Discord, which is how you live chat with us. Access to all the mini-series and mini-episodes we do, so covering any of the shows we're watching, movies in this coming up holiday season.
Your dad series.
My dad series about just being stoked about being a good dad. For $50 a month, you'll get all that stuff. Plus, we'll personally thank you at the end of every episode while you're supporting us. In our Thanks Mom segment, you will get to weigh in or pick some episode or bonus series topics. You will get full access to Hannah's birthing, coaching, workshops, ebooks. Honestly, you can sign up for just a month, get that stuff, and then switch to a lower tier, hopefully. Was there anything else?
I don't think so.
That was pretty good. I remembered that. If that's pretty much everything, I'm going to leave it in. If not, I will chime in and correct myself here. Okay. Hannah, do you want to take us out?
Okay, love you. Bye.
Oh, that was it? We were done with the spiel. Okay. Bye.
Holy shit. We're parents.
What was the episode? What was the point of the episode again?
Talking about the benefits of having involved grandparents.